Welcome back to REV Endurance Sports and another coffee chat. Over the weekend, we went up to Santa Barbara to do a century ride. It's called the SB 100. If you want to look it up, it's ridesb100.com. And these two ladies are proudly wearing their categories, the category win jerseys. And in this case, Lori got the overall, so she was the fastest female on the timed climb. That is Gibraltar Road. It is about an 8-mile climb, but they only timed 6 miles of it because that's the most steady grade. And by steady, I mean 8%, with lots of double-digit ramps. So Lori took first overall of all women, and then Barb took first overall for her age group, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And so these jerseys are the winners' jerseys, and they look resplendent in them, don't they? So let's hear a couple of words, and I've got a call coming in, but we're just gonna have to let that go because this is priority. And then actually, behind the camera is Jess, and she got second in her age group. So the REV ladies came out and podiumed, all three of them, which I think is amazing, and I'm super, super, super proud of them. And we're few but mighty. Okay, so tell me about your day. How'd it go?
So it was good. It was a lot colder than I thought it was going to be, and I don't do well in the cold. So I got warm getting to the climb, and then it got to the point when I was waiting that I needed to keep going because I was getting too cold, and I'm like, I didn't want to go 40 miles warming up to start all over and then have the climb right there.
Yeah, because the climb was about 40 miles into the 100-miler. So, and there was a very, very, very fast start. And yeah, you could blow a lot of matches getting just to the base of the climb, right?
Yeah. So I stayed protected pretty well getting there. Rode with a really good group to get there. We did decide to stop, which was a little misunderstanding because Mark thought we were not going to stop, so he was going to tempo. He was planning on me catching, which that didn't happen because we stopped. And we ended up stopping a little longer, went ahead, and then my whole goal, because figuring Barb was probably the strongest 60 plus, that she was my competition. But then when you start climbing, you're like, but who knows?
You never know.
Don't know who's out there. So it's like, I can't rely on that. I need to go with where I'm comfortable climbing. So I entered the segment and I just tried to keep 4.5 watts per kilo going up. And
because that's what I was about to ask you. What was your metric? Because you know, you're not launched out in 1 minute gaps. I mean, it's not like the hill climb, you know, everyone's out there. It was a mass start. Yeah. So how did you pace yourself up that climb?
With my power meter, pretty much. And then I'd find a wheel and I'd sit on that wheel for a little bit just to get in that rhythm. And I'd hear them go, yeah, he's going to blow up, he's going to blow up. And sure enough, they blew up. So then I'd go find another wheel.
Right.
And I just kept going. And then I ended up riding with one guy, I wish I could remember his name, because I've ridden with him, I think, on a double century up there. Either that or Cool Breeze, or I've climbed Gibraltar with him before. And he ended up, he was gasping right at the top. Super strong, though, but he motivated me to keep at a pace because there was really nobody around by that time. And then got to the top and felt really good, but you didn't know anything until 3:30. So
now there's been quite a few videos. We've talked about gearing selection. It's an 8% grade. Oh,
you can hit cancel.
No, that's Bianchi calling.
We're
gonna have to cut this video short. So we've talked about gearing before, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, she went from a mid-compact to a standard crank. But you like that 39 inner chain ring and the 28 rear.
Yeah, because it's my breathing. My legs can tolerate anything as long as my lungs are good. So 28 is actually perfect for me. If I had something easier, I'd go to it, and then I'd slow down. So it makes
so
more
you
sense.
like that torque.
Oh, I love
it.
Yeah.
So were you watching all of this? Because you were only about a minute time gap between the two of you, right? What was
13 seconds.
What was it?
Pat checked it out.
Oh my God.
So yeah, right in the beginning, Lori passed me, and gapped me, and I just felt like I was at a good pace for me.
Yeah.
And I knew it was 6 miles, so I just didn't want to. I was afraid of blowing up.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did my thing. Maybe I could have bridged the gap a little bit, but I didn't. So because I saw the whole thing since I was behind her.
Right, and I was happy you didn't, because I would have gone
Yes,
harder, and I
right.
didn't want to go harder. So we push each other for
We
sure.
do.
And
That's what's
actually-
so great with training with Lori.
That's right. That's one of the things that some people,
Yeah.
when you look at someone's power file or ride file, and you're like, oh, I could go that hard, or I can go that fast. You only need to go as hard as you need to win.
Yeah.
You know, so some people sometimes look at a data file and be like, oh, he only did 300 watts up that climb.
Right.
I can push 350. Yeah, but
Why would
300.
you?
Why would you?
Yeah.
You only go as hard as you need
Yeah.
to, and you win, right?
Yes.
So you could constantly see her
Yeah.
then. So she was your marker.
Yeah.
She was your pacer.
So
yeah.
the whole way up, we kind of stayed. She maybe got me a little at times, but then I closed that gap. But I just never felt that I had enough power to bridge the total gap to get to you. So I was like, it's Lori's day. She's strong.
Yeah.
And it was
And I'm
awesome
good.
because they took me out of they took the overall
age group.
winner out of the age group,
So
which is
I
what
could
allowed
win.
her
I
to
could-
win
yeah.
the age group because
We're in the
both got
same
it.
Right,
age
because you're in
group.
the same age group. So this is a very interesting situation where now you've aged up, and so now you're both in the same
And
age
I'm in the
group.
middle of the age.
Yeah. And so we have two of the strongest women in the field in the same age group.
This
So
is why you need to come to the senior games. So you'll
I
be
know.
65 plus, and I'll
Yes.
be 60 plus, and we won't
yes.
be against each other. That's
Well-
the only
We like
place.
that better.
Because 60 plus is a large
gap.
age group.
Yeah.
and since you mentioned senior games, we're gonna have to do another video, and actually we're falling so far behind on your accolades.
Lori's.
Yeah, so Lori went to the senior games. What do they call them? Huntsman games?
Huntsman senior games.
Huntsman senior games, and won every single event. She won the time trial,
The climbing time trial.
the climbing time trial. She won the road race, and she won the crit. So we need to do a completely separate video for that. All right, so let's get back to this. So these are two different type of climbers. She likes that 3928. What are you climbing?
Well, I like to spin more, so I have a compact crank and a 32 in the back, and I used it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoyed it,
And-
especially on the 14% grades.
Right. So we have two completely different styles, climbing styles here, but the results are pretty much the same, right? I mean, you said
works for
13
you.
seconds,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when you're sitting there trying to decide, well, what type of gearing should I, just do what feels natural to you. You will find your own natural cadence. You'll find your own natural rhythm. You'll find that power, that cardio level. You know, I run a very high cardio level, whereas Lori runs a lower cardio level and likes to grind a bigger gear up a climb, right? Okay,
She can.
because she can. Now, there was a little confusion about the overall time, but this was just for the hill climb, right? These
Yes.
jerseys were just for the
Yes.
hill climb.
Exactly.
But they were awarding overall time. I just don't know where he did that. I know you
I
said it
didn't-
didn't matter. Because remember, they said there's no prize in it.
Yeah.
And I knew the only
But I
time I
never saw
stopped
that.
was waiting at
Right.
that one rest stop. So I thought, could be in the running.
yeah.
Came in with Josh in that
Yeah,
group, which was
yeah.
one of the lead groups. But I don't know when they announced the overall.
I
So
don't even
I
know
did
that
want
they
to.
did. Yeah.
It is
It
nice
would
if
have
you're
been-
not stopping
Yeah.
to make that a goal as well. I like to race.
Right.
When we
Right.
go train and ride, we train and ride. But on race day, it's race day.
It is race day. Okay, so that's all for today. Don't forget to give props to these ladies for killing it, crushing it at Santa Barbara. Also, just behind the camera, it's second in her age group.
Yay, Jess!
We're gonna get her real quick, and there's Jess. There's Roberta. She's got a lot of fans in this already. So she's
back.
She's back. She's back. She's back. So that's all for today. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you up the road.
Cheers.